I wonder what you lot are asking people. You're probably asking yourself, why I'm streaming live yet again? People, deluded, I'm back again. Right before I clock off, I thought, you know what? Let me go live before I brush my teeth, have a shower, and get ready to attack Monday. Now, it's been a fantastic weekend. First things first, Arsenal got 3 points. We won a London derby against Chelsea. Personally, I feel we should have had a penalty. Personally, I don't know how it took Yusuf Fufana, apologies, not even Yusuf, Wesley, apologies, Wesley Fufana of Chelsea, how it took him 58 minutes to be given a yellow card. No, the game's the game. I've got no problem with Fufana. I wish my players could find a way to bypass those laws, but it took 58 minutes for him to get a yellow card. How he wasn't given a second yellow. Lewis Skelly's been sent off for less than that. Martinelli's been sent off for less than that. The main thing is we found a way to win. Now, we wish we lived in a day and age, people, where refereeing decisions were fair and whatnot. How VAR hasn't had a look at Cucurella's, I don't know, but we control the controllables, just like against Wolves. That is how we're going to win a league title moving forward, if we ever are to. We made it happen. Now, we actually, at one point in the season, Chelsea were ahead of us in the league table. So, again, I don't know what is just said in that regards. But as we know, if there's one thing that isn't set in stone is the top four, or top five where Champions League is concerned. If our form doesn't turn around and didn't turn around, we'll draw ourselves out into a top four battle. So it's nice to get 3 points, nice to have bragging rights, nice to keep having Chelsea's number. Obviously, nice to score from a set piece once again. You know, Martin Odegaard set up Mikel Merino. I do think, you know, in the two top six games that we've played, obviously, the top six record at this moment in time is continuing, and we've got a good record in that regard. Also happy we saw that continue. But for me personally, I think there's lessons we can learn with the draw against Man United and actually today, and not to pour, you know, like sour grapes on what we saw. But at the end of the day, United probably should have beat us 4-1. We should have beat Chelsea. We should have scored a lot more than one goal today. I think every player's got to do some shooting practice, if I'm honest with you. Every player, again, Martin Odegaard, half chance, Mikel Merino, even Declan Rice, 100%, Trossard, Martinelli, the list goes on. So that's just in terms of getting better. Got 3 points, got the international break, got a bit of a layoff now. We'll see where it takes us, man. But it is what it is. That might be a pipe dream, but I'm sold in him, brother. That's another thing. Liverpool, they're going to be celebrating the league title in May. They've walked the league. People are being sour and saying, "Oh, the league isn't what it used to be, and Liverpool aren't as good." I can't lie. I'd rather be in Liverpool shoes. People can say what they want. What do you want us to do? Be worse? And if the league is so bad, why are we top and you lot are not better than us? So yeah, they're going to celebrate something in May, but you know, to pour rain on their own parade, you know, to see them go out of two competitions in a week, a lovely stuff. PSG, lovely. Shout out to Eddie Howe, Dan Burn, and everyone collected to Newcastle. Not the least of things, Joe Willock as well, man. Isaac sick, man. Even the celebration, he's looking at Van Dijk. I mean, he's a big game player, link up play, goals. The number 14 shirt is free. I'm sure you saw him with Thierry Henry as well. Like, boy, like you said, man, it's a dream, man. The dream is free, the hustle is sold separately. But if there was a big money purchase, with the greatest of respect to Declan Rice, who I feel was good today, if we could spend 105 million for Declan Rice, he must be able to find a few pennies to at least make a real go at trying to get Isaac at the carpet. But yeah, Isaac and Newcastle, fantastic today. Big up Fulham as well. Shout out Iwobi. It's been a good weekend, man, and a good way to start the international break. Now, I want to start the stream off by saying, yeah, Caicedo, you're a liar. Considering you was doing the most to sign for Arsenal Football Club, you are forgetting yourself. You know, you're at Chelsea, massive club, you're a good player, all of that jazz, but you're forgetting how you was carrying on. 2-2 flirting with a couple of bids at Brighton, and you was doing the most on Instagram. And I'd expect you to know a lot of things in relation to Arsenal. The Ecuadorian and Chelsea midfielder said they were working on us, actually. They were working 7 years together and us just 2 years. And we showed we were better than them. And that's good. Okay, you were better than us. Why didn't you get 3 points? How was you better than us? I'm not even gassing up Arsenal. Like, it was a ball fest. Let's be honest with ourselves. We knew that was going to be the case with how Maresca sets up and how Arteta sets up. We know it wasn't going to be great in terms of a watch. But how was you better than us? Cool, you had the little Cucurella volley, which was probably the best chance of the game. Take nothing away from Chelsea and Cucurella. Raya's kind of dodgy moment made that look a bit better. On a casual day, Raya grabs that. There's nothing to really talk about. We had the chances, and I'm not gassing. That was the reality. How was you better than us? Like, how was you better than us? I'm not too sure, but fair enough, man. You can debate that. We got the 3 points. Keep it moving. And for context, he said 7 years ago. This was Arsenal's squad 7 years ago. So how have they been working together 7 years? Do you see anybody connected to Arsenal Football Club still in this picture? Yes, you do. Arsene Wenger will always be connected to this football club. Mertesackers obviously in the academy. Joe Willock's at Newcastle, big him up on winning the FA Cup. What are you talking about? Jack Wilshere was here like a few months ago. What are you talking about? El Nene's not even here. And he's probably been here longer than this. Like, what are you talking about? This was our squad 7 years ago. I don't see Arteta. He was at City, putting out cones for Pep, respectfully to Arteta or Pep. What are you talking about? Just be gracious in defeat. Hold your L, man. Again, big up. It will be doing the Snapchat business. I mean, what do you think? You know, I'll leave you lot with that. Big up Tottenham. Big up Fulham. You know, shout out Fulham. Shout out Fulham. Tottenham have lost their last 6 Premier League games on a match day immediately before an international break, which is amazing stuff. Remember, this individual here said that he wins a trophy in his second year. We're gonna have to see what they bring to the table. Consistency has been key this season, DJ. I don't think Liverpool have been good to watch, but they've produced when others have faltered. Graham, you said it there. You said it there, and that's the be all and end all. All the other stuff is talking. That's the be all and end all. I think the only person that could say they put it better than you, Graham, would probably be William Saliba. End of the day, they were better than us. People could say that's harsh, but that's the reality. Like, there's nothing more hard. I'd argue that's harsh, but that's not as harsh as, give or take, us being able to dream in some elements in the last 3 years, ultimately where the Premier League's concerned, barring a massive collapse. And I see Liverpool fans, some on social media, thinking they're going to collapse where the league's concerned. Like, to see it's a myth. 12 points is a myth. Like, it's a myth. Unfortunately, it's another season for, even when you win, you got to reflect, but it's another year of reflection. Could have, would have, what if. Ultimately, you know me, I hate to use this kind of terminology and language, but there's nothing else to do but go see what you can do in the champs and go again next season on and off the field. I hope Berta, beyond anything, I hope our new sporting director, Berta, saw, listen, striker. A winger as well, but striker. Just someone a bit clinical. Even Isaac's finished today. Just little just in the right place at the right time, instinctive. And it's mad because as much as I criticize Arsenal's chance creation and it not being sexy on the eye, and I still maintain all of that, we are getting chances. Like, the ball did fall to Declan Rice in a good area. Trossard the same, Martinelli the same. Should feel quite harsh on Martinelli because he should have had an assist. So players are getting into the right areas. It's just ultimately the hardest thing to do is put the ball in the back of the net. That's why these attacking players are paid. It is all about consistency. And the most annoying thing for me is, yeah, we can talk about the top 4 race and, you know, how we might have stagnated and regressed, but because I don't know about anyone else, yeah, but I can be unhappy with Arsenal without having to make out that it's all terrible. By all means of the imagination, it's not the best thing since sliced bread. We're not amazing and all of that stuff. I'm not saying that either, but we don't need to move like we're struggling for 40 points and we're getting relegated. And I say that not to be positive, just to say, like, we got to a semi-final. Obviously, Newcastle won the cup today. Should have went through against Man United in the FA Cup. We might have had a good run at that. Either way, we're not. Champions League, we see what we can do. Got an impossible or improbable task against Real Madrid. The league, we've been smoked by Liverpool, and we've smoked ourselves, really. I think it all comes back to the transfer window, but we're still second. There's still a base. Like, there's it's not all doom and gloom. If we just do the things that need to be done, then we could have won a cup today. We could be talking about FA Cup. And even if we were still in these trophies, the squad, assuming that we were still in these trophies and the things on the field went right, but we still had the summer that we had, the squad would be even thinner. And I'd rather be in that situation because you have more of an opportunity of winning stuff. Ultimately, it's about consistency. I wouldn't say go as quite as far as to say like the real job for Arne Slot starts next season. But for want of better phrase, I believe it is the case because Liverpool at the pinnacle. Where the domestic campaign's concerned, we know City are going to get better. We're going to aspire to get better. Everyone's going to aspire to get better. Whether it happens or not, we'll see what the season is saying. But you're at the pinnacle. The only way is down. You're at the top of the table. So you have to maintain. I'm sure they want to try and retain that. Something very difficult to do. There's a level of expectation. I don't need to tell you a lot about Trent Alexander-Arnold and Salah and what's the other one? Van Dijk and their contract situation. Away from them, you know, you see Jota's name, Nunes' name. What's their centre half's name? Kanate's name, all linked with moves away. You look at the 2 transfer windows, they've kind of done the manager dirty as well. And obviously, Slot's going to learn a lot about himself. Another year, you might see a different Liverpool per se. I'm not even talking about in terms of getting better or worse, just in terms of how they play, because he would have had a year at Liverpool. If you logically speaking, where Arne Slot's concerned, and maybe not to discredit the small tweaks or anything he's done, maybe in ways that's helped Liverpool build the momentum and all the things Graham's talking about. Because if you think about it logically and you're Arne Slot, You walk into Liverpool post Klopp, you got to bear that in mind. Yep, haven't really got to do anything in the transfer market. Chiesa, funny enough, barely seen him for Liverpool when he scored. You're not going to make drastic changes. If you were, you might try now, dependent on what's happening. So, yeah, man, it's a shame as well because for me, at the end of the day, like I'm going to sound like a hypocrite, but and I'm not trying to pour any cold water on Liverpool. You lot can see I'm a fair man, but really, like from how they've played, even when they've won, and it's testament to everyone else around them and how good Liverpool have been. On paper, they really 12 points, 13 points, 14 points better than us across the season. You know, again, give or take against Liverpool, they're a team you obviously think you can beat now because we got a bit better, but they're a serious team across a 38 game season. Even if they are to win a league, are they 12 points better than us? Yeah, Mo Salah and all of that, but really, because it hasn't been the case the last 2 years. It hasn't been 12, 13, 14, 15 even points. Essentially, it would probably be more if they've got to play today. And that's the annoying thing. They are on paper. At the end of the day, data is data. But I would say Liverpool fans wouldn't say that, and Arsenal fans wouldn't say that. But you got to win your games, man. You got to do what you need to do, man. It's a shame, man. Big up yourself, man. Big up yourself. We'll carry on, but love in the comments, people. Big up yourselves, man. Some of you don't know where your bed is, like myself. Big up yourself, David. You're here without fail in all the late night streams, man. Big up DG. Much love from Dublin. Shout out the Irish ones, man. Thanks for the stream, man. Chilling, enjoying, talking up. Hope you're having a great Sunday, man. I'm having a good Sunday. Don't know what talking up is, but yeah, do that for the guy, man. Hey, what's up, DG? Smash the likes and run up the likes. One love. Hey, super chat, David. You're far too kind. Small thanks for the stream. Best Arsenal YouTuber out there. No one can touch your work rate, bro. Talk, understand, my guy. Appreciate it, man. I mean, with supporters like yourself, all we could do is keep going, man. 2 underrated. You should have 200k subs, man. Let's keep it going. Predictive tech shagged me on the super. No worries, my guy. Appreciate that. We keep it moving, man. Maybe one day. I would say if you guys got Isaac or any striker, you'd be forced to play more centrally than ever before. Is that a bad thing? Because I don't think we play centrally enough. I do think us fans, myself included, exaggerate that a bit. But yeah, we don't penetrate through central areas, really and truly. It's the wide areas. And I do think definitely in Arteta's reign, we've kind of like started attacking more out wide and less centrally. But we've done that before. But even when you go back to when we won the FA Cup and all of them games, like our highlights are coming from wide players. So I think we need a couple more better wide players and we need a striker, man. And I must admit, yeah, Timber, man of the match, amazing player, amazing game. What he's doing post ACL is mad. But once I look past, for me anyway, it's probably Timber, the 2 centre halves, and all the other conventional talking points. I thought Thomas Partey was good, and every time I see Thomas Partey, especially when I think he plays well, I always think, oh, like, are we gonna act in the transfer market? I like Zubimendi. I don't know if he's a game changer and all of that. I'm not gonna sit and act like I'm watching Sociedad, but we've all done our research. What I see of the player, I think you had an impressive Euros when you came on for Rodri. Can see why you would fit in Arsenal's system, you know. Wouldn't describe you as an all-action midfielder, but you kind of are in that you contribute in all phases of play. Not the most physical of man, but decent in terms of headers in comparison to, you know, his stature. Clearly Spanish, intelligent, good positioning, passing, all of that. But I don't know if you're that physical presence. And Mikel Arteta, I'm not going to lie, man, talking about the left-hand side and up front is one thing. I think defensively, purely because the vast majority of this squad has been together a long time now, we need to replenish, but the defensive unit, spot on. Midfield, we need to get some answers now. Declan Rice, cool. If he's persisting in this 8 role, then we'll see how that goes. But need that long-term partner, need competition / an alternative for Martin Odegaard, arguably. Still haven't really replaced Granit Xhaka. Definitely haven't replaced Aubameyang. I know that's a lazy analysis, but it is the reality. We don't have a talisman beyond Bukayo Saka that we're like, yeah, you can get us out. Next summer, serious, man. But I don't want to do too much. But again, we can't afford to drop the ball. As I said, it's been a great weekend, man. Chelsea got packed. Fulham beat Spurs, and Newcastle ended a 70-year drought, I believe in. It's great for Newcastle, man. Imagine that. You're Dan Burn, boyhood Geordie. You've scored. You've won a trophy. He's a boyhood Geordie. Alan Shearer's in the ground. It's a movie. Like, football's a movie sometimes. Eddie Howe deserves his flowers, man. And it's shameless, but whenever... I've always felt like this, yeah. Not that I want teams to beat us or I cheer on anyone else, but, and it's a weird ego thing, but we're not perfect. One reason beyond the obvious as to why I would want Newcastle to win is we lost to the eventual winners. We could say at least we lost to the winners kind of thing. I know it's shameless, people, but I honestly believe we should have been in the final, either against Liverpool or against Newcastle. Well, it would have obviously been against Liverpool, but could have saved a bit of face, man. But anyways, it was nice to see Bukayo Saka and Kai Havertz. Obviously, not nice in that you want them in the match day squad. Again, Liverpool got 70 points. We got 58. Can we do it? Oh man, and it's just I don't know about you lot, yeah, but when you look at that, the fact that Liverpool got 70 points and we got 58, and beyond the obvious, some of you, I'd love to know what your immediate thoughts were, people, because some of you might have looked at the losses. Liverpool have 1 loss and we've got 3. I was drawn to the draws, ironically, if I'm honest with you. Gally, shout me if you know, you know. That was a good play on words still. Might be the Black Peter jury, but yeah, smash the like button. But it's the draws, man. It's the draws more time. Obviously the losses, but it's the draws, man. Chelsea at home, bit like last season. Aston Villa is the biggest L in terms of a draw, if I'm completely honest with you. Massive L. 2 goals up, didn't see the job done. What else? I think the 2 games against Brighton. Wait, hang about. Wait, hang on. Something has just dawned on me. Completely off topic. Was Chris Kavanagh the referee that sent off Declan Rice at Brighton at home? Because if you did, the Fifana performance today, Fifana pick him up, but because the game's the game, innit? Like, if we can get players that can get away with Fifana stuff, the Bruno Fernandes pushing the ball a bit forward and doing stuff, we need to be on all of that. But for me, it's the draws, man. As I was saying, Aston Villa's an L. If an L could be a draw, it's an L. It was 2 goals up, didn't get the job done. United, based on the second half, were fortunate, but it's a case of if we approach certain things in different ways, maybe the outcome could have and maybe should have been different. The same in the 2 games against Brighton for me. And you can't win them all, course, you're going to draw. But there's bare draws there. And yeah, on the face of it, yeah, we can say injuries and all of that kind of stuff, and with context, but not that the only context that matters is that's the proof, people. People talk about stats, but you get where I'm going. It's the draws, man. But then I also look at the L's, if I'm honest with you. I mean, even when we've won games, like of these 16 games, there's probably been games that we've won that we've probably played better than when we've drawn in certain aspects. That's how it works. Typically, you get what you deserve. But then I look at the L's, and I mean, all of the L's, it's more the approach, whether it's because we've had injuries, just had a bad day, look out of steam, which I do think there's been an element of fatigue. Ironically, even the game at Stamford Bridge in this very reverse fixture. But all of these things kind of come back to the market. Like, so we need to control these things. But I think about Newcastle away, big them up for winning the cup today, didn't turn up at all. Bournemouth, yeah, red card, but let's be honest, we're rubbish for 30 minutes. Let's be brutally honest, man. Like, if we can praise the boys when they win, we can be honest. It's a safe space. We was dead. West Ham, it goes back to the low blocks. And that's what I genuinely feel for the last few seasons. I'm not saying it's easy, or obviously people are trying, but we've known about low blocks. We've known about the need for squad depth. We've known about the need to rotate players. We've known about the need to maximize markets. We've known about all of the stuff that is the things we're good at and the things keeping us back on and off the field. We've known about this. We didn't discover none of this year. The only thing we discovered is how good, really and truly, Lewis Skelly is, Wanyeri is, and that'll push. Not that I think we don't know, but probably owing to his ACL, how vital Timber is to the squad. And, you know, Arsenal fans are doing that thing of, is it Ben White? Is it Timber? And it's crazy because, yeah, that's a healthy discussion as to who's first choice. Right now, it's Timber's spot to lose. There was times it was White's. But have you not seen the theme of the season and why we need depth? Like, madness, man. Just checked my app, DG. Appreciate you, Graham, man. Chris Kavanagh was indeed the referee against Brighton at home. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. All I ask for is consistency. Because I know if Lewis Skelly was on a yellow card and that one where he's tackled Lewis Skelly, I know you're getting sent off. And you lot know me, I'm not one that cries about the referees. I've just kept saying we need to control the controllables. We won, and there's bigger talking points, really and truly. But you see, we just made it happen. On another day, maybe if we don't get that pen shout, maybe if Fufana isn't sent off, maybe if the shoe's on the other foot. Unfortunately, as much as I feel there's a genuine bias against our club, I do think, one, it's exaggerated a bit. I don't think we focus on the controllables enough. And I think the brutal reality, Arsenal fans, is we're going to have to be perfect to win the league in all aspects. We're not going to get rubber the green. And there's been times where we've obviously got favourable decisions as well. So not acting like we're perfect, but We know the reality, and I could sit here all day. I think I genuinely think there's a conspiracy and there's contempt with Sky Sports and PGMOL because they're involved with each other. I do think the fact that Wenger was the first foreign manager disrupted a bit of ecosystem plays a part, and I also feel for when we fielded all those black players and the fact that we are seen as whingers and crybabies and trying to act like holier than thou. I think it's a mixture of things. So yeah, man. Call me a fake tactical, but how to break down low blocks, do overlaps with timber, drag one or two of the defenders, play faster in the transition and penetrate central areas. It's true. That's the one way to approach it. There's many ways, I guess, to approach it, but for me, I've moved past that. Like, it's not my job, and I'm not dissing you because I like your thinking, but it's not my job as a fan to maybe to humor you lot and to have talking points, but it's not my job to learn how to do that. It's Arteta's. That's the problem we have. Fix that. It's sad, man. And also, when you look at the scheme of Arsenal, the players I kind of blame the players the least, is what I should say in it. But if we're, again, it's a safe space, Arsenal fans. If we're being honest and we're looking at the team, I'm not asking everyone to be good for 38 games, and certain concerns we have about players and, you know, their importance in the squad and having to rely on them. We've, again, keeping up the theme of what I just said a few moments ago about we've been known about this. There's very few players that can say they've really in their heart played to one, anything close to their standards last season, and two, more often than not, have had a good game. Yeah, Raya got away with a mistake. There's been times Raya's made mistakes this season, but more often than not, that lad has saved us. And for every mistake, there's a million great saves and double saves and crazy things that Raya's done. Raya, I think you've played to a level. Gabriel Magalhaes. Saliba, I don't think you've played to a level of yourself, but you've played to a certain level. Timber, you're potentially a player of the season. Partey, for the large part of the season, you've been good. Saka, you got your injury, but you was doing your thing. Lewis Skelly and Wanyeri. Of course, there's been injuries. Declan Rice, you played to a certain level. But there's only a few, even of them ones there, that I think have really played to a nut. Like Gabriel's, for instance, has played out of his skin. How many have done that? And it's not all their fault, of course. It's a season of reflection, man. There's a lot for the players. There's a lot for Arteta to learn in terms of whether we like it or not. The man's not going anywhere. To learn in terms of squad depth, trusting other players, maybe tying into the transfer market, not trusting players. There's just so much reflection as a club we need to do, man, if we want to get to that level where we can get to, man. But is what it is. We lack an attacking threat in zone 14. What is zone 14? Forgive me. A striker and better left wingers will make a difference to our performance. I hear that, and it will get us more points, but it will get us what Liverpool have. And it sounds dumb to say that, because there's been times, I'm sure, Onslaught and Liverpool haven't been happy about how they've been playing, but individual quality can nick you some wins. We need that. We've already got that with Saka to a degree, and at a point, like today, the set pieces, like anyone's put your head on it was maneuvering. But we need a bit more, man. There's a lot that we need to arrest, in my opinion, tactically. Arteta, only manager allowed to go into his second rebound build without winning anything in the first. And that's why, for me, with Arteta, I say this all the time, it's just about getting over the line. Until you get over the line, I'm on anything. I'm not quite at the pitchfork stage. But if so, in some other reality where the Cronkies are thinking about how do we get over the line and they want to try something with a next new manager, I'm on that. I think everything, and this goes for a lot of the players as well, and everything connected to the club. I'm open to everything because it's now a third year, and I hope fourth year where not only, well, obviously I hope next year we win it, but of fighting for the league. You did your bit, Mighty Mag, man. Congratulations. Big up yourself, man. Tell Joe Willett, yeah, you lot did your thing, man. Newcastle, you deserve it. And for me, watching that, because I did a watch along, big up you lot. Obviously, it's a final, yeah. And everyone likes an underdog, and obviously you'd rather Newcastle win. But, and yeah, a lot. Do you know what? Two teams that went into extra time in the Champions League today, Liverpool, where the cup game's concerned, I'm sure Atletico Madrid today as well in the post-Barca game. Both their sets of players and managers spoke about how tired they are and all that kind of stuff. Even Real Madrid yesterday, Carlo kind of said the same thing. So that could be an element, but I just think Newcastle wanted it more, man. Not to diss Newcastle, and I know people have won stuff, but you look at their 11 and Liverpool's 11, a lot of them have won stuff in their careers, not to discredit the League Cup, but they've done these kind of things. Newcastle, you look at Dan Burn, who was given one opportunity in one final when you didn't win it. God has given him another one. It's pretty romantic, man. That's what football's about, man. First and foremost, Newcastle deserve this, like, especially with the new owners and Mike Ashley. You lot was in a madness. If I'm completely honest with you, like with Mike Ashley, so you lot deserve it. Obviously, I don't think you lot have Isaac in higher regards than Alan Shearer, but that's a conversation probably happening. Obviously, Isaac was great. You saw Gamara's post match comments. Nice for Dan Burn, as I said. Nice for Eddie Howe. And I'm jealous, man, because I think we should be in the final, or we should have. You lot were great against us, and you obviously been the best team in the competition. But it's a regret, man. It really is a regret. The Champions League, I hope we can do something. But Premier League, for me, a lot of regrets. League Cup, two legs. And if I'm more angrier about one of the legs against Newcastle, I don't know if I'm completely honest with you, because I'm not happy with how we played at our place. But I do think on the grand scheme of things, we played a bit better in that game. For me, the last, like, Newcastle was one of them grounds. There's many grounds in the Prem, I feel like this, but you can't afford to have one of those days where, if not the only reason, but like you're not at it, you don't really fancy it, you're not on winning your duels, to rock up there for a second time and an evening fixture as well. I wasn't happy, man. There's something that we need to strip back at this football club. When I wouldn't say when we're faced with anxiety, because adversity, apologies, because we've made it happen, but when it's push or shove or sink or swim, especially in the cup competitions, and really and truly, like, I would say Aston Villa this season, West Ham this season. Many people look at Aston Villa at home as to why last season as to why we didn't win the league. There's something around getting over the line, man. So yeah, man, exciting times for Newcastle. Something to build on, something to convince players that, because I mean, Gamara, these guys are always linked with clubs. Like, you're building something. Probably going to get Champions League football, right? If you lot don't get Champions League football, you shot yourselves in the foot. DG, do you think Miles Lewis-Skelly is a long-term left back, or should he be moved into midfield going forward? Graham, honestly, I don't know, and it's a good thing to have. At some point, you never know, man, because, you know, Saka, we've seen him play in midfield literally a couple of times for Mikel Arteta, but he got in at left back. He's obviously found his feet and asserted himself at right wing. So probably just got to wait on Lewis Skelly to develop as a player. Would love to see him as a midfielder organically, man, because he can do the 6 role, especially with more experience. I think he'll be a better 6 than 8, but, you know, he's shown he's adding those elements to the game. So yeah, man, 6 and 8, I'd love to see it. But then you could argue, if Arteta saw him just as an out-and-out midfielder off the jump right now, you wouldn't be getting called up by England, because you've made your name at left back. It's all a learning curve, man. But listen, he's already got Ashley Cole comparisons. He reminds me of them lot down the road. In fact, no, in honor of Fulham today, beating them lot down the road, where he was before he went to them lot. Musa Dembele, ex-Fulham player. That's who Lewis Skelly's got little mannerisms of, in my opinion. I'd love Saka. You don't want Saka, man. Buy Reece Nelson. Joe Willett put in a good word, man. We give you 100 million and Reece Nelson. Trust me. Why would I lie to you? Come on, man. Give you a good price for Isaac, brother, man. We look say for Gamara's as well. Can we get both of them? Pick up yourself. Following Graham's question, do you think he has the qualities to be a competent midfielder for a team hoping to win major honours? I mean, so far, for a team that's aspiring to do that, he's done his thing. But next season, him and Wanyeri, they're still young, but there's a degree of expectations. It's not a wow thing. I wouldn't say Lewis Skelly's at the pinnacle of anything in his career, and he's taking it all in his stride. But at this moment in time, this is a dream. Bearing in mind, he made his debut for this football club in September. Ashley Cole comparisons in March. Well, up until that point, look where from September to March, made his debut. Got a yellow card before he was even on the pitch. Haaland sent for him, did a madness with him. Red cards, scored for the football club. England call up. It's a madness. You're there now. It's all wow. But now there's a degree of expectation. Same way, like and rightly so, he's doing his thing. He's one of the first names on the team sheet, and undoubtedly a stronger choice than Calafiori at this moment in time. You even got to remember, like right now, he's in form and that. But ironically, like we're speaking about Liverpool, that was when he was. I'm sure his first couple of sub appearances. There was a time. I'm definitely not making this up. There was a time where Lewis Skelly, and obviously he's still doing it now, but there was a time before he's obviously done this. Lewis Skelly was coming off the bench before Kivior and before Zinchenko, Asterix, Tini as well. But we know his situation is a bit different. So it's down to him to prove it, man. Obviously, if you want to be to be fair, a 6 ain't really got to get goals like that. More if you're an 8. But generally, if we just say midfielder, you've got to be looking to add goals to your game. Lewis Skelly's got to brush up on a lot of things defensively, in my opinion, just little minor things. You've got to, he demands the ball a lot, but you've got to show even more personality in that regard. And then you just got to keep being consistent. What he's doing right now, if he just keeps with this steady, he's all right. But only he can answer that, man. Saka's got better and better, and by default, you've made yourself that. Because there was a time, let's be real, some Arsenal fans, they weren't knowing Saka was going to be like this. He weren't going to be like this. Remember when he was linked with Crystal Palace on loan or permanently or something, and was trying to buy Saha? I was here on YouTube. Some fans were saying, you know what, let's do that. Crazy. Yeah, of course, man. You don't know till you ask, though. Maybe we shouldn't have sold Guendouzi. Fits the 8 role well. I think with Guendouzi, it was an attitude thing, man. I liked him at the club. He's a shithouser. He's with it, but I don't think Arteta fancied him that much as a player, but he did equally use him quite a lot. I just think, rightly or wrongly, Arteta was trying to toe the line. You've seen what happens to a couple of these players. I genuinely think, I've said this before, if you ask Arteta, I think he'll say he wish it kind of worked out. And I think if you ask Matteo Guendouzi, he's felt hard done by Arsenal, but if you asked him man to a man, he'll probably sit there and say, yeah, I've got regrets. I didn't handle my way in the right way. But again, as a young player, you need that. Because that's going to put you in good stead elsewhere, man. Newcastle fans full chest is 70 years. Man, come on, man. Less of that. Let them have their moment, man. Just say getting in the Champions League is something. You guys are there. That's something in itself. I hear that, but that's dead, man. Champions League, I want to win it, but if I'm the least... bless me. Thank you in advance to whoever said bless me. If I'm the least kind of critical of the 4 competitions we typically enter, it would be the Champions League. Premier League, I'm kind of vexed. Premier League, I've got little patience. League Cup, I've been waffling about it. FA Cup, if there's one trophy, not a single Arsenal fan is going to tell me, I don't care what we look like as a team. Of course, I want to win Prems and Champs. I go into the season, I want to win the FA Cup every year. We've done that bare times. So yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. But yeah, he could play in the squad. Better ex-players could have played in our squad, really. Like, I miss Granit. And yeah, people, since the start of last season, Arsenal have scored more goals from corners than any other Premier League side in 27. Bearing in mind, we took a break after December. 11 of those have opened the scoring, which is also a league high total in this period head start. And that's one thing I'd say is kept evolving, because this is like the 3rd year in a row, maybe 2nd that I pushed that the set piece thing has kept going. Yeah, we've had a period where it ain't worked. There's a lot to do at our football club, and it is difficult, but sounding like a hypocrite, I don't think it's difficult. Like, we don't need to do bare things to get over the line. So yeah, man, it is what it is. So that was lovely. Timber, all he does is read his Bible and play well, man. What a player. Like, to have Saliba, Gabriel, and Timber, crazy. Timber, you just do your job. You can do the attacking thing. You can defend. You're intelligent. That is some of the best money we spent. I can't lie. Like, Arteta, recruitment stuff, you got that one bang on. Ajax, not that you'd be watching my streams, but if you got anyone like this, this is who we need. He won the most duels with 9, won possession the most times with 6, most aerial duels, 1 people with 4, most interceptions with 2. Quite a low-key affair in that regards, but 3 fouls, 1 free clearances, and just had a good game, man. Had a good game, and to be fair with you, don't know how we didn't get a penalty in that game. Saliba has now won 100% of his aerial duels in each of his last 3 Premier League appearances against Forest, Man United, and Chelsea. I won't quite say getting back to his best, but on reflection, definitely against United and Chelsea, kind of getting back to your best. Even that there were a couple of moments from Saliba, a bit like the Raya thing, but yeah, you did well, man. It is where we kept a clean sheet. We are now unbeaten in our last 7 Premier League games against Chelsea, which is our longest run without a league defeat against them since a run of 19 between 1995 and 05. My childhood, 30 years essentially, give or take. Well, yeah. Yeah, man, lovely. They also won 3 consecutive Prem home games against them for the first time since 03. Keep it going, man. Same again, Chelsea, man. If I'm honest, Chelsea and United, we let you lot off. We took 4 points. Next season is 6. Spurs, it goes without saying. You know you have to run us those points. Like, You don't even have to play well. Mikel Moreno's best scoring season in the top 5 European leagues, people. He's on 5 at this moment. He got 5 last season and he got 5 in 1920. We could be shameless, just like with Declan Rice. We could be so shameless. Obviously, context, he's been playing up front. But shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. I actually think he had a good game today. Obviously, within the remit and all of those things. Is this live? Of course, it's live. Hato's a baller. 18 years of age, made 100 appearances for Ajax. There's a foundation there. He's clearly intelligent. Grab that. Sign that immediately. We're not going to get him though, man. I just don't think he's going to be a target. Look at the results against Chelsea. How you didn't get sent off. It's not his fault, mate. You won't be going to the World Cup through final. It's not Declan Rice's fault he plays with Saliba. Martin Odegaard created as many chances as every other player on the pitch combined in the first half, 3, and he provided the assist. So, yeah, it was a low-key affair, but we're going to be shameless. Tomorrow at 2 p.m., 4 p.m., and 7 p.m., I should have content as well. They have Jarrell Hatto for left-back. He should be added. Bring him, man. I genuinely think Timber is either the second or best right back in the league right now, and he's a centre back by trade. Hatto and Timber is greedy. Chill out, greedy, but bro, we need to be greedy, bro. Like, just keep buying from Ajax, man. Now, there's a call me a romantic, yeah, but I'm an Arsene Wenger baby. There's certain elements that I don't like it enough to be happy with where we are, yeah, but Arsene Wenger was big on like Japanese, like the Japanese football and all of that. And he obviously, spent time in Japan. Tomiyasu's here. I know he's injured, but Tomiyasu's here. Arsene Wenger was great in terms of the academy. We've got academy players shining this season. And obviously you've got Bukayo Saka. And obviously the remit of, Mikel Arteta being a former player, even though I don't think he was like that. And also there was a point, Barcelona, Ajax, Arsenal, we were the holy trinity in terms of great football. So it's quite romantic in the Johan Cruyff, Rinus, Mikel's kind of school of thought. Just keep buying players, man, from Ajax, man. Big up Ace, though. I say you're a United fan. You lot keep doing your thing. You lot signed Lissandro Martinez and Anthony. It's crazy. You lot, they zanged you. I can't lie, they zanged you. Martin Odegaard has now provided more Premier League assists against Chelsea than any other Arsenal player in the Premier League history with 5. Stats don't mean anything, but that's romantic. As an Arsenal captain, Arsenal held Chelsea to their joint fewest shots in 8, fewest expected goals in 0.35, and fewest touches in the up box 8 of any game this season. Now, this is where statistics don't mean anything, or it depends what statistics. This means something. But if you go and look at the possession, Chelsea had more than us. But if they've had more possession than us and 8 touches or whatever, 8 touches in our box, what have you done with possession? Where all they would need to do is show us a simple heat map of where the possession was. Just break the pitch up into 3 different places. It's probably in their own half. And then again, watching the game again, because I watched the first half before our next live show. I watched the second half in the morning, people. But their defense was nervous playing out the back, and I know there might be psychological factors behind that, but every team is playing out from the back now, so it's not really that anything, and it's just on brand that it was a low key affair. Like, let's be honest, it's hardly the most glamorous of games, man. I know a lot of you probably fell asleep while the game was on. Arsenal have now won 3 consecutive Premier League home games against Chelsea once again for the first time since 2003. Only Mohamed Salah and Omar Mamouche have scored more goals than Mikel Moreno since he became Arsenal striker. We don't buy strikers, we make them. He's got 3, Mamouche has 4, Mohamed Salah has 5. It's another final where Salah didn't turn up. Maybe the Henry comparisons are there. I got both of them. Tottenham Hotspur have now lost more games this season alone with 15 than Arsenal have in past 3 seasons with 14. And I know people like to sit there and say, oh, we got to be thankful because Chelsea, United, Spurs. We don't want to be like them. We want to do what Liverpool did this year. We want to do what City have been doing. Let's build on this. Mikel Arteta on scoring a corner versus Chelsea. It would generate belief that we can do it again. You want to be a threat from every phase of play. I hear that. Can we be a threat from central areas? He said Chelsea is the best attacking team in the Premier League. Is he trolling? Because he did pretend to run away from the press conference and came back. Is he trolling? He said, in open play, yes, by a country mile. The stats say it and everything that I've seen says it. Fair play. Can't argue with that. Today, we deserve to win the game. We were better than Chelsea. We are very happy. It was a very important game. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Big up Timber for trolling Maresca as well. We gotta love Declan Rice, man. Shout out to Joe Willock, as I said, on his cup success. Maresca said, I think between the 2 games against Arsenal, there was not a big difference. The amount of injuries we have, we competed, we're in the game until the end. But you spent £1 billion, bro. It did shock me seeing, that Chelsea defense, especially with the numerous great players Chelsea have had. Like, there's no leaders there. I like Colwill, but Coles, he's still young and learning himself. I think Fifano was probably the most prominent, but he weren't anything. And that Banashile guy is an accident waiting to happen. Cucurella was probably the more convincing of everyone defensively. I hear the Reece James experiment today. Well, not even experiment, because he played in midfield before, but that experiment. Would you personally sack Arteta at the end of the season if he wins nothing? I want to know what you think, not our board. Everything is up for debate, man. If I was in the board and then like I've patterned an Inzaghi or Jabi Alonso and like we can actually make something, we're gonna have a go of trying something, then I think it's a conversation to have, if I'm completely honest with you. Like, but reality is he's gonna stay in it. And we're going to be like a broken record. He has to deliver next season. I am. That's not my fault. I think we're overdue that delivery, but that's going to be the rhetoric. What's the problem with Odegaard? As a neutral, I see him keep playing, ticking and that, but I see Arsenal fans complaining. Fill me in, pause. I pause. It's a techie one, because on one hand, you're doing what you're being told by the manager and you are important in that regards. But if you wasn't Odegaard and the classy player you are, and you was a player that isn't as technically blessed, like let's just say for argument's sake, Kai Havertz plays in that role, and you're still doing what the manager tells you, but you're not really doing anything else, there'd probably be harsher critics. That being said, everyone's onto Odegaard anyways. I just need to see a bit more influence. I don't know what it is. Are you still carrying an injury? Is it just poor form and sometimes you've just got to ride that wave? I just need to see a bit more from Odegaard. I do think he was better today. I do think he's been better, but yeah, it's a far cry. And to be honest, for me, the biggest thing would be the goal scoring front. It's weird because in an ideal world, you want Odegaard to score. You need to contribute in terms of goals and assists in the modern day, but you want him to do all that poetry and motion with stuff. But he finds himself in good goal scoring areas, and I've been saying this since the start of the season. For whatever reason, he's not converting, and I actually feel we need better attackers, but probably best that all of our players, really, especially our attackers, like today, even though we beat Chelsea, I'm not saying they don't, but could it be worth spending an extra half an hour in finishing practice or something? Because we're clearly, it might not be sexy, it might not be what I want. We can clearly go to other areas, but we're clearly getting in goal scoring areas. It's just, one, it's not players that we have any real confidence that they have the ability to score, which is a recruitment thing. And two, indirectly, piggybanking off that same point, these men are not good enough, but we're getting in the areas, we're fashioning the chances. We need to do it to a better degree and from all aspects and all of that kind of jazz. Today is genuinely, and I said it in my watch along, today, in my opinion, I'm being a bit dishonest because obviously the players and the manager, they want to score a bit more goals and convert them chances, and probably would want to be on the right side in possession. Bearing in mind the point we made about Chelsea had more possession. They had 8 touches in our box though, so they didn't do nothing with it. Today, I think, was a carbon copy of how, in an ideal world, the majority of the games go this season for us. Like, we've clearly worked on what we've worked on. We've stifled them. We're pressing well. We're dominating proceedings. We look the more threatening. We get the goal via a set piece. We keep it moving. They couple of hairy moments in both boxes. We win. The problem is, though, that's an ideal world, and that doesn't factor in, which worked today because we've done the job, refereeing decisions, all of these kind of other things in the game. So, yeah, man. I do like Maresca, but it seems like Chelsea fans are losing their patience. Keir Starmer was at the Emirates today. We're unbeaten in 19 straight Premier League games versus the big 6 people. 11 games, 8 draws, 0 defeats. Arteta spoke on defending. In defending, we're one of the best teams in the world. Today, we're unbelievable. We conceded almost nothing apart from a strange save from David Raya. Big credit because, in my opinion, Chelsea are the best attacking team in the league. Our top goal scorers in the Premier League this season, Kai Havertz, who's out for the rest of the season and has been missing, has 9. Martinelli has 6. Marino has 5. Saka, who's been out since December, has 5. So it goes back to the summer, man. And apart from Bukayo Saka, and obviously Marino's playing up front, apart from Saka, none of these players are key players like that. People, or they should be squad players. Saka's the only one we could say should, in an ideal world, be that. So yeah, man, that's our issues. We're now unbeaten in our last 7 against Chelsea. I'm just milking this, mate. Again, long story short, I can't play this, people, but ex-PGMOL chief said, it was quite scandalous how we didn't get a penalty. Keyword X. I know he's retired or whatever, but whenever these refs are not tied to these things, they talk up the things. Streets are saying 1 million Aiden Heaven is looking more comfy than 60 million than euro. Who else have Haaland got for us? Go away, mate. Right, go away. I hope he's all right. Go away, man. Why are United fans forcing this whole thing? Like, and it's the United fans like yourself and the ones that actually know in real life that they all keep. Why do you? Is there a memo saying shout DG about heaven? Like you're all shouting me and saying da 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 da. It's annoying though. But yeah, man, big him up. And at the end of the day, he's taking his chance. I don't know if you're going to make a long-term career at United. I don't know if you would have been playing if Maguire and Lissandro was fit. But end of the day, your job is to just be a professional footballer. And you wouldn't have started for, and it's not even an Arsenal United thing. You wouldn't have started for Arsenal in a European knockout game like you did at Sociedad. You wouldn't have played against United if you was at Arsenal. So he's taken a chance and it's worked. And for United, they're laughing. If he, becomes a squad player and does his thing, then they've got a player. If they're not and he's good, but he wants to get first team elsewhere and United act in the market and Lenny Euro's comfortable, they'll take peas. Hay fever season is getting there, man. Does he not watch Liverpool? Chelsea is the best attacking team in the league. Arteta's doing the lying thing, man. If we beat Madrid, do you think we can win the champs? I don't understand the question because what is winning the Champions League? In many ways, qualifying for the Champions League is winning the Champions League because you're defying the odds. And football is about those moments. It's not just about winning. You look at Newcastle. They've competed in the League Cup many a times. Today, they finally won it. So that could also be winning. But you could look back at when they got to the final and lost and they've defeated themselves. Are you here for the PR answer, or do I want the honesty? I still won't believe, but I mean, come on. If you beat Madrid over 2 legs, you can't get complacent. But it's a confidence boost to you. Like, you know what, bring on anyone. But there's some big dogs. Madrid is Madrid. Barcelona is a big team in this. Bayern Munich is still Bayern Munich. Who else am I missing out? Real Madrid, if I haven't mentioned them. You get the point. Everyone's cold. But I would start believing. Nice touches and fancy flicks move a lot of this fan base, unfortunately. But his game is clear to see, and it hasn't been enough so far. Still young, though. Just hasn't been. Odegaard ain't been playing to his level, man. After Wesley Fofana appeared to stamp on Declan Rice, VAR checked for a red card, but there was a deemed lack of force. Okay, got away with murder. Try harder, Maresca, man. Word to Tim Beasy. Again, Chelsea's XG today at the Emirates was their lowest in any game under Maresca, with today being his 43rd match in charge. Big up Lewis Skelly, who obviously is having a great period as a professional footballer in his young career. It's all I can ask for, really. I'm just so grateful to the team for entrusting me and the boss entrusting me, and I can repay them and be the best version of myself. I'm buzzing. Honestly, I was elated, just shouting around my house. And this is what it's about, man. Obviously, I'm excited for what's coming up, but you've got to stay locked in on the present and not get too attached to the feeling that's coming later down the line. Testament to his family. Look how a young man is speaking. Yeah, definitely it was a hard-fought win. We had to face a low block a lot in this game, but as today we could suffer together. Sometimes you got to suffer, and we did that well today. We're comfortable again. I don't feel Chelsea had the maddest of low blocks. It might have been by default, but that is the territory we're in. 9 times out of 10, that's going to be the case. We knew from the jump that we had to win our battles, win our duels. It's a given, especially in a derby like this. Big him up. The defender also praised Mikel Merino. I mean, you could have. He showed what he said about Marino. What's the gaffer said? I mean, we heard he said he was all right. We've gone over that strange things. On our record against the top 6, yes, we are capable of competing consistently with really high standards against any kind of opposition. And if we continue to do those things, we'll get rewarded. Arteta, frame that and just leave that in the dressing room in the build-up to Real Madrid. Because if we said that, that's the mentality you got to have. We obviously, know we can score from set pieces. He said we worked on something similar with that finish. To be fair, it was a different kind of finish planned, but we're very happy because that would generate the lift in the team again, even in the stadium, the crowd, that we can score, because it's something that we're missing. When we've been so prolific on that, and with the amount of injuries that we've had to deal with in the front line, so very happy with that. I'm not going to lie, you keep mentioning the injuries, which are a factor, but he keeps doing it. On the Mikel Merino being used as a striker, we know that was an emergency situation that we're in at the moment, but the way he's approaching it is incredible. He wants to understand everything. He wants to learn from it. He's very critical of himself all the time. And at the end, the reality is he's winning football matches for us, which is incredible. He's never played in that position before in his life. And yeah, big up Merino for that. Yeah, man, he's bigged up Chelsea on the transition, their attacking play and how they combined and all of that. Chelsea could definitely be contenders next season. So yeah, I mean, it seemed like a pretty hasty finish in terms of a press conference for Mikel Arteta. 23 goals for Isaac. But yeah, that probably is the biggest goal he scored for Newcastle. I am not endorsing or condemning these ITKs and whatnot, but in terms of giving you lot content, AFC Camden has said, I understand Isaac favours a move to Arsenal over Liverpool if he decides to leave Newcastle this summer. Likely to push for a move if they miss out on Champions League football. Arsenal are prepared to pay 100 million for his services. Real Madrid are apparently trying to go for Calafiori, but Arsenal are likely to demand 80 million euros for him, which is funny. Liverpool will consider selling Darwin Núñez in the summer, with Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta interested in the 25-year-old. They're not even trying. Man United are looking at Rafinha. I only mention that because Rafinha's previously been linked with us. He could be available for 60 million. One of Barcelona's key players, like one of their match winners, excluding the young Lamau. Arsenal will do everything to keep Saliba, but Real Madrid will make a concrete attempt to sign him. Reports out of Italy. That is Daily Mail is saying Arsenal made contact with Nico Williams' reps. I mean, get these things started. Liverpool want to sign Julian Alvarez if they can't sign Isaac. I mean, that's something we should be getting him for. I mean, look at this. Look at obviously they've caught him just in motion and whatnot, but look at the way, just because of this, he's looking at on reports. The 14 shirt is free. Give Odegaard a belt. Odegaard, do your job, man. Odegaard, Mikel Moreno, Zubamendi, if you're really signing for us, drop these guys a message, man. Joe Willock can pattern all of that for us. Come on, is that, man? Bring Gomares. I've mentioned this a few times, but allegedly David Ornstein said, I think if Arsenal are going to commit a huge expense on a striker, and if Zubamendi gets done, it's surely inevitable there needs to be resources raised from sales or multiple. It wouldn't shock me to see a notable Arsenal player depart this summer. Now, what does notable mean? That could be Thomas Partey is leaving for free. That could be Trossard. Of course, that could be William Saliba, and you can exaggerate Saka and whatnot. Apparently, Leroy Sané is ready to take a pay cut in order to join Arsenal. Allegedly, big up Gomares, who's been linked with us. Why would you want to leave Newcastle if they're going to build on that? Won a trophy, probably going to get Champions League football. When he's a Brazilian Geordie, you see the way he carries on in all the vids. Apparently, Josh Kroenke, who was in attendance as Arsenal beat Chelsea, had his moral defaced outside the Emirates. Boy, smash the like button. Boy, sign the players and you wouldn't have got that. David Ornstein has said Real Sociedad and Arsenal are clashing over the fee structure for Martin Zubamendi. Despite the red flags that come with Chelsea's willingness to loan Raheem Sterling to a London rival, The Athletic is saying Mikel Arteta still personally pushed for the signing in the final days of the summer window. Maybe that was just to get a body to save face. I don't know. Manchester United, Arsenal, Juventus will all try to sign Osimhen this summer. Allegedly has a 63 million release clause, which needs to be triggered. Berta, courtesy of Romano, apparently will start his new chapter as Arsenal director in the upcoming weeks. Plan confirmed. The contract has been sealed since last week, as reported. The new director already spoke with Mikel Arteta about future plans. You didn't even need to speak with the gaffer, brother. Strikers. I don't care if it's Isaac or if it's the next Isaac that plays in Colombia or something. Come on now. We need to move serious. Just tell the manager, please. Over 100 million has been spent on Mikel Merino. Big him up for today. And Kai Havertz, we miss you. We actually do. But come on, we need to get away from that. We need to sign ballers now. This is just the harsh reality of what needs to happen, people. We've already gone over that technically. People inside Arsenal think extraordinary players joining this summer. Okay, the Zubamendi thing. Okay. We'll see, man. Speaking of midfielders, we've been linked with Marc Casado of Barcelona as well, people. We know that's not happening, but the dream is free. The hustle is sold separately. We need a left back. We do need a left back, to be honest with you. We like it for me. We need a winger. We need a striker. We need a centre mid. We need probably a left back. Ideally, a Timber Tomiyasu kind of one. We could do with versatility across the defensive back line. There's a lot to do, man. The vast majority of this squad has been together, like for this 3-year period. We fought for a title, but also give or take 4 years. So it doesn't surprise me. There's not a lot to do, but there's a lot to do. For whatever reason, there's players that are going to leave, or we're going to have to let leave, and there's certain things we may or may not do in the summer. GG, them Ajax new kits are tough. If he thinks Chelsea is the best attacking team by a mile, you should be concerned on how he views football. I hope he's just doing mind games, man. Like when Pep used to little bro us about, you're so good, so good. I know the PL title is gone and the UCL is improbable. However, looking at Newcastle and the mentality they showed today, determination and heart plays a part in the outcome. It plays a part in everything. Real Madrid could have all Mbappe, Vinicius, all of them things. But if there wasn't that allure of where Real Madrid be fight to the end, and if the players didn't believe that they could get things done, it doesn't matter how good you are or what you can do with a ball. Maxi, Seapart, or Joel Hatto, anyone I will take at the club. Boy, large up DG back on the late night thing for you. Appreciate you, man. 8:20. Where are you tuning in from? Zone 14, key position for build-up play and converting chances. It's often the place where the decisive passes that lead to goals are played. Accessing it helps break down organized defense. Whatever that is, let's get it done, man. Get it done. Every year we go on a bad run that leaves us with no trophies. It's a pattern that's got to change. I wish I could disagree, man, but at the end of the day, there's facts there with that regards. Feels cringe to blame ref decision, shout out schema for this gap, but something has to be said about the inconsistencies. Something has to be said. DG, tomorrow you start as DOF at Arsenal. Who are you selling and who are you bringing in? What positions are you prioritizing? All the decisions are in your hands. What are you doing? I'm having a, well, good thing they're not. It's easy for me to say, bloody hell, mate. I guess, obviously, I'm having a conversation with Mikel Arteta about recruitment. In terms of buying, I'm trying to push the boat out for Isaac, and then I'm trying to get the boat out for Isaac. I'm asking Arteta if you genuinely want Sesko and you can convince me he's the guy who will get that done. Kareem Adeyemi or Nico Williams, one of you has to sign off the top of my head. Steeler or Stuttgart. If Zubameni doesn't sign, I'll look at that. Need to find a left back. Need to sort out the goalies. Outgoings. Who'd be the first one I'll try to sell? I'd say Fabio Vieira purely because that's got to be the more difficult sell. So see what we're doing there. We're going to utilize him in the squad. Trossard's got to go. If he's not signed a new deal, arguably. Zinni, decision has to be made. It's very difficult. Difficult question, man. I really have to think. Ramp up the shameless activities and ramp up the likes. Sorry, got asked this a final time. Keep going. Not gonna lie, Zubimendi's not upgrade on party. We're going to miss him when he's gone. I hear it. Risky stuff when players come to the end of their contracts and start playing well. It is, man. It is. And I might be looking at this too simplistically. We might not find a party, but surely there must be a young physical midfielder that can do a job. The same, not the player because it didn't work, but the same. Not the same scouting, but the same kind of scouting that found Lokonga, because we tried with Lokonga, Kivior, Fabio Vieira. It didn't work, ironically. I don't think any of these guys are game changers, but you could argue we maybe, well, we even went for them a season or two too early. Keep the same logic, but sign better players. Because there's a reality where Fabio Vieira is our very own, I don't know, Bernardo Silva. Lokonga is the next Yaya Toure. There's a next world where all of this bangs. Balemba. Big up the Toronto ones, man. Which little midfielder? The curly hair, you baller, man. Baller, but they're gonna ask for a madness. Been playing very well in the Champions League. Very cultured, man. Him, Warren Zaire, Emre, France are littered with Doué's one we should have got when he was at Rennes, but it is what it is. If the team plays against Real like they played today against Chelsea, Madrid will win 10-0 aggregate, boy. And again, just by looking at that game and the United one, at the end of the day, football's decided in both boxes. When you have chances, you need to kill the game. We can't have a game like that against Madrid. It's all fun and games, set piece, getting us out of jail, and we're talking about what coulda, woulda, shoulda. But if we get 3 or 4 chances in a game like that across either, if not both of the two legs, got to put the ball in the back of the net, man. Got to make it happen. If not, you're in trouble, man. It is what it is. But on that note, though, people, I'm going to shower and all of that. Go sleep and see you lot tomorrow, man. It's always a pleasure. I think this is my 3rd bit of live content. I appreciate you lot for tuning in. See you lot tomorrow, man. Probably going to go live at 2 p.m., 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Make sure your notification bell's on because in between, we're good for it. Pause. But on that note, safe.